when the internet was still a newborn, it felt like a different planet. Slow, pricey, and basically empty. No streaming, no social feeds, no one-click shopping. And yet, even in that primitive era, a force appeared that would change the internet's accessibility forever: digital piracy. The first pirates weren't torrent veterans at all. They were students passing software around on floppy disks like it was contraband. Then, the 90s arrived, and dial-up dragged piracy into the mainstream. BBS boards popped up, quiet little underground hubs where people swapped files without making noise. But the real earthquake hit in 1999 with Napster. Suddenly, almost any song was a few clicks away, free. Rights holders didn't just panic, they spiraled. Stick with the video to the end and you'll see exactly why that moment mattered. The music industry declared war, but the cultural shift had already happened. Piracy wasn't just a crime, it became a movement. Pirates were seen as the rebels of their era, cracking protections, spreading knowledge, distributing content, turning only for the rich into for everyone. And out of that wave came the most infamous pirate project of all time, the Pirate Bay.
This is Future Digest. Like the video, subscribe, and let's go.
In 2003, 3 regular guys from Sweden decided to pick a fight with the entire system. They met on hacker forums and locked onto one shared belief: information should be free. They weren't chasing money, they wanted to build a place where anyone on Earth could access content. And they didn't hide it either. They openly challenged media giants and rights holders, surviving server seizures, lawsuits, and arrests like it was a weekly routine. The Pirate Bay kept respawning with the same pirate flag and the same message: we don't store the files, we point the way. For millions of people who couldn't afford movies, music, or expensive software, TPB became the only doorway into culture, education, and tools. And it grew fast, because it wasn't trying to be polite. It was bold, stubborn, and openly disrespectful toward authority pressure. Other trackers folded, others went underground. TPB did the opposite. It got louder. The founders trolled studios in public, uploaded scans of legal threats, and answered with sarcasm. The site blew up. Millions of users worldwide, hundreds of thousands of active torrents, and a feeling that the machine couldn't actually stop it. At that point, TPB wasn't a website. It became the capital city of pirate internet culture. Activists, hackers, regular people, everyone rallied around it. An entire political vibe formed around the project, all the way to Sweden's Pirate Party. So serious, it even reached the European Parliament. That was the peak of digital rebellion. And predictably, the bigger it got, the harder the counterattack came. Hollywood, music labels, international organizations demanded takedowns. The creators got surrounded by lawsuits and pressure from every angle. And in 2009, the Swedish state finally landed a hit. All 3, Gottfrid, Fredrik, and Peter, were handed real prison sentences. One tried to disappear, one came back on his own terms, but in the end, each of them faced court and time behind bars. After that, the trio broke apart. One went quiet, one left Europe, one became an internet freedom activist. Their chapter as a team closed, but the footprint they left didn't. The Pirate Bay lived on, not just as a site, but as a symbol: digital resistance that refuses to die. After the founders were arrested, the site didn't die. Control simply shifted to an anonymous network of people who had already planned for that exact outcome. TPB was engineered for survival, distributed, autonomous, and hard to pin to a single place. Servers jumped across countries and continents, and the people running the machine stayed invisible. So the authorities could block it, raid something, seize hardware, sure, but they couldn't finish it. The Pirate Bay switched domains and jurisdictions faster than governments could swing the hammer. And that's when the big question showed up. Can piracy actually be defeated? Spoiler alert, not really. While Sweden was still trying to bury TPB, the broader pirate wave had already gone global. Then the early 2010s changed the vibe. Piracy suddenly looked rich, like gold watch, Lamborghini, Hollywood energy. Enter Kim.com and Mega Upload. A charismatic, nearly 2-meter-tall German built what felt like the ultimate file-sharing empire. No torrents, no waiting for seeders, just upload, click, download. Movies, series, games, software, minutes. Convenience became the weapon. At its peak, Mega Upload allegedly moved around 4% of the entire world's internet traffic, pulled something like 50 million daily visitors, and made tens of millions through ads and premium subscriptions. Hollywood and the labels didn't just hate it, they treated .com like the final boss. And in 2012, they made it cinematic. New Zealand Special Forces, acting on an FBI request, raided .com's mansion with helicopters, dogs, and rifles. The arrest looked like an action scene. Mega Upload was shut down, servers confiscated, and .com was accused of causing roughly $500 million in losses. The U.S. demanded extradition immediately, bring him to America, try him there, and lock him up for decades. .com didn't fold. He went to war in court. With expensive lawyers and procedural delays, he dragged extradition through years of legal mud. Eventually, New Zealand courts questioned parts of the case, flagged contradictions, and judged the evidence less convincing than the headlines claimed. Extradition stalled, and .com stayed in New Zealand. He's still there today, technically free but unable to leave. The luxury era ended as loudly as it started. Some assets were recovered, but the empire itself became a ghost story. And while that drama played out, piracy evolved again, into something quieter, colder, and harder to catch. A new generation stepped in, anonymous, faceless, untraceable. No press, no Lambos, no celebrity. The era of the invisible pirates began. By the mid-2010s, the battlefield shifted to the most profitable, most protected corner of entertainment: video games. No more public speeches, just anonymity, intrusion, and silent reputation. Publishers threw insane money into defense. The new digital fortress arrived, De Novo, a protection system marketed like it would end piracy forever. Instead, it turned into a challenge flag, and almost immediately, 3 legendary cracking crews became the names everyone whispered: Codex, Skid Row, Reloaded. Nobody knew who they were. Everyone knew what they did. They dropped cracked versions hours or days after launch, costing publishers millions. Gamers celebrated those releases like holidays, treating pirates as heroes, liberators from high prices and obnoxious DRM. And in that war, the game industry kept getting hit again and again. DRM systems that took years to engineer and millions to fund kept falling in days. Again and again, crackers made the biggest corporations look slow, like the pirates were always one move ahead. Then, in 2022, Codex announced they were done. They signed off with a mic drop statement: "We did what we came to do. We proved piracy can't be stopped by any protection. Now it's someone else's turn." And that's the lesson the next generation of game pirates made impossible to ignore. The war on piracy is structurally broken. As long as there are people willing to crack and share, there is no final victory. In entertainment, piracy basically won. Games, films, music, everything stayed reachable despite massive budgets, legal armies, and unbreakable systems that kept getting broken. But the biggest piracy shift wasn't about blockbusters. It was about something more valuable than entertainment: knowledge. In 2011, a student from Kazakhstan, Alexandra Elbakyan, hit the wall that millions of researchers know too well. She needed academic papers for her work, and access would have cost around $1,000. She didn't have it. And she decided the system itself was wrong. Knowledge shouldn't be locked behind money, passports, or geography. That's how Sci-Hub was born, a site that broke through paywalls and handed out scientific papers for free, millions of them from across the world. Within a few years, Sci-Hub became a massive shadow library. Any student, any scientist, anywhere could pull almost any paper in seconds. For researchers in poorer countries, it was like someone finally opened a door that had been welded shut. Publishers freaked out because their entire business model depends on controlling access. Lawsuits piled up. U.S. courts labeled her illegal. Sci-Hub got blocked again and again, and it kept coming back. Domains changed. Mirrors appeared. Blocks got bypassed. The pipeline stayed open. Elbakyan turned into a symbol, an enemy for publishers, and a hero for millions of researchers who were tired of begging for PDFs. People started calling her the Pirate Queen of Science. Even Nature put her on a list of the most influential people in science, because whether you love her or hate her, she changed the ecosystem. And that's why piracy is such a loaded topic. On one hand, it reshaped the internet and made culture, tools, and knowledge accessible to people who would have been locked out forever. It's how a kid with no money can still learn to code, how someone from a remote village can study and become a scientist who changes the world. On the other hand, piracy has real costs. Creators lose income, developers and studios can collapse, promising projects can get killed early. And in the long run, users lose too, because content that could have existed never gets made when creators can't get paid. We're not endorsing copyright violations, but we're also not pretending piracy appeared out of nowhere. In many cases, it was a response to a system people experienced as globally unfair. And now, it looks like the world is inching toward a compromise. Big companies are slowly realizing it's better to sell content cheaply and conveniently than to lose the audience completely. One obvious example is Steam's regional pricing approach in CIS countries. The world is shifting. Piracy helped force that shift by proving that access to knowledge and culture shouldn't be treated like a luxury product. Thanks for watching to the end. If you're still here, then I didn't grind for nothing and the video actually landed. So yeah, don't be shy with the likes and comments. It really helps. New episode soon. See you there.